This is the Hobnobbers podcast.
That's who we are.
Yes. And I'm Lauren.
And I'm Devyn.
And we are a stitchy podcast.
We are stitching.
We do lots of crafts and stitching and fun stuff. So,
yes. Knitting, cross stitch, crochet, you name it, we try it.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
At least that's me.
And we are, this is also Flosstube, if you're here for a Flosstube. That's what we'll be starting with today. We decided to kind of move things around a little bit, so we'll start
We are working on our organization.
We have no organization.
Well, we're trying for a better flow, at least. Organization's a strong word. We're just trying to get a better flow, so we'll see how this one goes.
It has been 3 weeks since our last recording.
Yes.
Because last weekend was 4th of July, and there was just so much going on.
Too much going on. I was out of town, you know.
I was in a car accident. It's been great. It's been a great couple weeks.
Everybody's fine who was involved.
Fine. Everybody's fine.
The car is not.
The car is not. My poor baby car is gonna need replaced. I need to put. I have some pictures. I'm gonna put them on Instagram and just like say goodbye to my car. And then maybe I'll have pictures when I get a new one. But it has been. It's been a little hectic. I've been dealing with the insurance companies.
Yes. Every time I call you, hang on, insurance is calling
me again. I will be right back with you.
Yeah.
But we were rear-ended. I had some people in the car, and we were rear-ended. It's a busy holiday weekend here. Lots of people in town. Lots of people not really paying attention.
There's the lake that everybody loves to look
at. Love to look at that lake. And there's a crosswalk that is not well placed. It's not super...
Or well, like, warned. There's not a lot of, like, advanced warning that you're coming up to a crosswalk in a 40 mile an hour zone.
Yeah, on a highway.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a busy highway.
Especially on a 4th of July weekend. But, we are all fine. Everybody's checked out. I had the stiffest neck in the world for, like, 4 days. But everybody recovered. Everybody's doing okay. Yes. But that was our big...
That was your big
event.
That
was my big event for 4th of July weekend. I'm like, I'm going down to the cookout. But life happens.
I spent 4th of July in Virginia with a couple of close friends, and we just pretty much stayed in their house. And the boys smoked a brisket, and that was pretty tasty. But we didn't really go out anywhere because, you know, COVID is still happening. So we just stayed in... They're in an HOA, so they had a private lake access area where we could go and hang out on the beach. And my dog got in trouble with the HOA guy. She was not staying in the doggy swim area. She kept wanting to go swim with the children, and that is not allowed.
Oh my, the doggy swim area.
The doggy swim area, yeah. Which is also the boat
just
launch
put everybody
area.
In a lake.
So there's like boat launch and dogs, and then the kids in the adult swim area.
It's too dangerous for the children to be there. Put the dogs there.
Yeah. Well, it's non-motorized boats. So there's
okay, so it's like little boats and stuff.
Yeah, so that was my 4th of July weekend, and it was really nice. I had a great time, and my boyfriend really enjoyed a chance to smoke brisket and play retro video games with his friend. So that was it. And this weekend I'm camping, so this is all straight from campsite.
Rolled out of tent.
I rolled out of tent to be here.
Podcast. I don't know, but you guys are having a good time. And it's a nice, like, you might see back here, we're in the middle of a bit of a storm, but it's actually a really nice weekend. It's cooled down. It has been blazing hot for the last couple days. I'm so glad that it's cooling down. Yeah, so you've just been... working on projects and...
Yes, so last time we talked, I was showing a sweater that's in progress, and I'm happy to say when we get to finishes, I'll have something exciting to show. And I made a couple other small things that one of them I talked about and planned for, and the other was just a happy project.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of crafting. Didn't get very much progress on my cross stitch, but
I went to West Virginia. We're very close to the West Virginia line, so we hopped over to West Virginia, Morgantown, West Virginia, home of the Mountaineers, and I'll tell you about it. And did some shopping yesterday, and it was really nice, but it's one of those where you go, West Virginia has barely any COVID laws because they really haven't had big outbreaks at all. They've had like 25 people. But at the same time, you go from Maryland that's being very strict about it. Like, Maryland is like, no, mask everywhere, no groups. Like, we will freaking come for you.
Yeah.
Because Maryland is like, Maryland's COVID hump is like very little. And they're very serious about it. And you go to West Virginia and people are just like standing very close. And like, masks are like recommended but not like enforced.
Right.
People are just you see them and they're like down below their chin. Just whatever. And it's a little like,
Yeah.
oh.
When I went to West Virginia a couple weeks ago, I was kind of like uncomfortable because there was no like social distance. What's that? And nobody was wearing a mask, and I was like, oh, I look like a weirdo in my mask.
Yeah,
I'm wearing my mask.
We kept ours on. We did go out to eat at a place, and it was outdoor seating, and they did have a couple tables marked like unusable to keep people distant. So at least there's that. But if you don't need it, I can completely understand why they're like, we're, being precautious, but we don't have to be New York level precautions.
Right.
I get it. But it's just, I think my mental state is like changing of like, ooh, you guys are really close. Ooh.
Yeah.
You guys are over there talking to each other face to face. It's very weird. But
with no coverings, yeah.
Yeah. But this was good. It's been good. We got lots of stuff. We got lots of stitchy stuff, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we have some stuff to show you. So do you want to move into cross stitch?
Yeah.
Are we ready for that?
Yeah. So we're going to start with cross stitch this time. This is our Flosstube. We have lots of stuff going on. Actually, the first thing I want to talk about is I have started going through and organizing all my floss. And so
thread organization is very important.
It's very important. And I was over in Morgantown, and we went to Michael's and Hobby Lobby and looked around. And I stole this idea from Shiloh at Cross Stitch MD. It's a thing I've seen around, but I saw her process and was like, okay, I love that process, so we're doing that. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't positive I could get all the stuff for it.
Right.
But I did. So I finally have, I used to put all my stuff on cards, index cards, whatever I had, project by project, because I buy as I go. I don't have a huge stash.
I can show a card of what you did before, because this is how Lauren helped me organize my thread for the Be Well project. These are little cards. I think you said you got them from Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, Hobby Lobby had them for like 25 cents.
And you just write the number here to go with it. And she wrote it in pencil so I could reuse it.
But and I had wanted to change from that, but I couldn't find what I wanted exactly. And now I have something better. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought one of these. Boom. It's a giant punch, and it punches out this little tag. This little...
Yeah.
And I went and got, and I was searching and searching. I was like, I wanted cardstock because I wanted them to be a little sturdier, but I didn't want just plain old, you can get it in 4 colors. But then I found these.
So now we do cross stitch and paper crafts.
So now we do cross stitch and paper crafts and organization. It's the best. So they come in all kinds of fun patterns and colors. And
there's some really cool pineapple designs in the book she's
holding up. Pineapples and flamingos and stuff. And this one is called Vacay Vibes. And you can see there, it specifically says it's cardstock. Yeah. And that is, they're just a little heftier. They hold up a little better. Then I found the ones that are paper for like scrapbooking, but it just wasn't thick enough. This one is called Painted Petals,
which I really like. I used a lot of that one.
And look how pretty.
That is pretty.
Look how pretty. And so I just randomly, I literally go like, okay, this is what that tag is going to be. This tag is going to be this one. And the last one I found is called OLL, and it's actually a little sturdier because it's foiled.
Every single one of them is foiled, so
they have a little something, and they have like some pretty
zero
stripes, but also florals, which are but also lipsticks.
Lipsticks. I think that's the one that had the telephones in it.
Yeah, it had cute telephones, cute retro telephones. There they are.
Vintage telephones.
And they're really sturdy. So I punch them out, and then I have. I'm gonna have to reach. Hang on.
I have mine here if you wanna.
I have to reach for one thing. No, why are you so far away?
Oh,
and then I found
thing.
this one. It's a 1/2-inch circle that's big enough to get a whole skein of floss through without messing with it. And then they end up
looking
like this.
So we have this little ring. And then here's like one of the, that one's a little boring. There's one of the florals.
Yes.
And
you just write on the back what the color number is.
So we wrote down like the thread colors. And Lauren took hers a step further. She actually wrote down the name of the colors.
Yeah, because I like that.
I didn't do that. I was lazy. But they're in numerical order. So when I go and finish this project and finish the bee well, I'll have put all my thread together in one place. And then when I go to do another one, I don't have to dig through a box of thread. I will have them all in nice order to find them. And
yeah,
the only
it's
thing,
gonna be really nice.
like, the only thing that could make these better is if they were somehow removable, but I don't see how we could do that with paper.
Yeah, I want to get, this is just a keychain ring that I found in a drawer, and it's perfectly fine, but I want to get the kind that clasp open.
Yeah.
So then you can just flip to, open, take the one off, close. Flip
Yeah.
to, open, take the one off.
Yeah.
That is the goal. I think we're running to get groceries tonight, so I might look then. But it is going to make organization so much easier. And I know it's like the thing everybody does. But for some reason, I have to do things 3 different ways before I realize that the thing that everybody's been doing for 10 years is the way to do it. It's like, it's been tested, Lauren. Move on.
Yeah. Well, I bought an old cross stitch on a yard sale. And so this lady, whoever was doing the project before me, had this long, skinny box. It was like this long and super skinny box. And all the thread had been like carefully wound around the finger, and it was in a perfect circle, and each color was laid there. And so it was like just pre-laid out. But I don't know what happened to the overall floss before, or maybe she just cut them all and that was the whole thing. I don't know.
Maybe. Or if it was a kit, it might have just come, some old kits, they just literally took all the floss and tied it in a bow and put it in there. Like, you figure out what color it is, you figure out what you need. Like,
the colors aren't labeled?
No, they're not labeled. The old ones, they're not labeled.
Oh my god.
I know.
I don't even know.
Hell on earth. The old ones were very intimidating because you had to sit there and sort it and look at it all and decide. Like, and if you're poor like me and have bad eyes and, you know, have trouble with shades, there's 4 shades of green. Just figure it out. Just figure it out.
You're done. You're done.
You knew when to figure it out. So yeah, so that's what we spent our kind of morning doing, which was super fun. And I have a couple finishes.
Yes, I do not have any cross stitch finishes.
But I have a couple. Little ones, not big ones, but super fun ones. The first one I have is one I've talked about it before, but it's finally completely finished. I just need to fix the edges. And that is Spellville by Barbara Aida.
Super cute.
I know, I'm so pleased with this. I love the colors. I love the little witches and the pumpkins hanging like a lizard and a mouse. Like, it's just so cute. And it's gone up at Halloween. No, it's probably gone up in the fall, honestly.
Yeah, it's got colors that are so nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Goes well with fall.
And I did it was a plan in the beginning, but it was such perfect timing. The Representation Matterssal and the Diversity Matterssal. I changed all the little witches. They're all different skin tones. Get a little closer there. They all have different...
What's a sal?
Stitch along.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I guess they don't call it a cow for a knit along.
Well, I've been hearing lots of people are saying mals, make-alongs.
Make-alongs, yeah.
To be more inclusive.
Yes. We like inclusive crafting. Yes. We do all the crafting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my second finish. And it is Be Well by the Blackberry Rabbit. And it's all done.
So cute.
This is very cute. Very cute little thing. I think I'm going to try and get it into a bag or something. Patch of some kind. It has a lot of color changes for so small. Like that wreath.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of color changes. but it's very cute. Very nice little thing. And it's a freebie on her website, so you can certainly go grab it. And I just did this on some oatmeal Aida that I had laying around. And so both of those are finished. Both of them are going to become complete finishes eventually. And I'm really happy to get some of those done so I can add new projects.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you have a whip.
I have one whip. It is the Be Well. So I just have the back stitching left to do, and then I guess finishing the actual project into something. I've talked about turning it into a bag with like a jean patch border or something. I love that idea, but it's so much work, and I don't have the jean material, so...
I can get jeans. I got old jeans.
It's a possibility, because it would be super cute. Or I could frame it.
Yep.
So I have a wall in our bedroom that I decorate with seasonal, sort of seasonal. Right now, I mean, it might still have Valentine's up. So, like, I pick my favorite holidays, I guess. Because I did do, at Christmas time, I have miniature stockings that are not knit. These are just, like, store-bought ones. One day, it will be little mini long johns. I have a pattern.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so cute.
I'll probably be talking about that closer to Christmas because I do have the yarn for it already. I need to get needles. But anyway, I have... This could be really cute up on my wall if it was in a little frame.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I don't know what I'll do with it when it's finished, but I just have the back stitching left. And I'm a very novice cross stitcher. This is actually the first cross stitch I've ever finished. So get some confidence and try it because I was able to do this.
It is a great little confidence thing. Like,
yeah,
it's cute. It doesn't take very long. It is, the count is really simple. It looks great on Aida.
Yeah, it's
a great little confidence builder.
Yeah, and this is just it's oatmeal Aida from the Four Seasons Stitchery. She doesn't label like where it came from, so it's just Aida that they have.
It's theirs.
14 count and oatmeal. Because as Lauren has said before, everything is oatmeal.
Everything is oatmeal. Like if it's a semi-brown tan, they're like oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
So
that's my cross stitch whip. That's all I got.
You have something coming up?
Oh, I have something coming up. So, Lauren is going to work her fancy editing skills to add in a picture.
Dun, dun, dun. I figured it out last time.
Yes, you did. I already showed you the thread, but this is all my thread that we organized to do. It's called Mario Through the Ages. So my boyfriend is a nerd, and he's such a nerd. He's really into retro video games. He grew up with, I think, even the Atari as a console. And so, I mean, his favorite's the original Nintendo. And he really likes Sega for Sonic. He still plays the old video games. Like, he and his friend, every Saturday, they do, I think they use Google Meet. And they just chat and play a game together. They have this weird system set up where they're able to...
They're emulating all the old games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think... I'm not going to say what it is. I don't even know. It's so far above my head of what they do. But he loves some old gamer stuff. And I found a really cool cross stitch that is like all the old Marios. And it's just kind of like...
And we'll have it here again.
Yeah. Somewhere in here, and it's called Mario Through the Ages, and so I'm gonna cross stitch that for him.
And that's by Ginger
the...
Stitches AU.
Yes.
Ginger Stitch AU.
Ginger Stitch AU.
And which I think is Australia, and she has
some really
great
cute,
stuff. Some really great stuff.
Needle minders and stuff.
Check her out on Etsy.
Yeah.
That old school pixel art is so easy to translate to cross stitch. So, I know you've got some more stuff to show during call, but that's really cool stuff.
Yeah, so, I had there were 3 other patterns that I bought at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I had, one is called, Life is a Game, and so the letters are, there will be a picture here, and the letters are all little bits from the video games, different ones, like Pac-Man is there, the tunnels, the little, like, green
the green
tunnels from
pipes
Mario.
from Mario.
Yeah. So
the potions from Legend of Zelda. Like,
yeah,
it's very cute.
And so it's really cute. They spelled the words "life is a game," and I bought the fabric for that. Did not buy the thread yet. That's a big one. Lauren's gonna help me figure out how to do that one.
We're going to introduce her to Pattern Maker.
Yes. And then I also got 2 others. One is a stitch sampler that is what's it called?
The Super Mario Kart.
Super Mario Kart. And so it's like all the images of the Mario Kart characters, and they're just kind of like lined up and
Getting ready for a race.
yeah, it's all cute. And then the last one is the Oregon Trail. You have died of dysentery. So
the memories.
yes. I played that game so much, and I think he did too. So he's really excited to have that on the wall. He eventually wants, like, we found a Pac-Man one. So
yeah, that's gonna be really cool. And those are by it's Choco Coco Stitch.
Yes.
On Etsy. And
yeah.
who does a lot of retro video game stuff. So if you're kind of like into that or looking for something for somebody that's a super big fan, those are great little things to put together.
He is actually, what he's doing is he works from home, and so we've set up a little home office for him, and he's working on having like a retro game display. His job is IT and computer repair and web design.
Yeah.
But he wants a wall of retro gaming stuff behind him as like a backdrop if he ever has like a meeting with clients or anything.
Google Zoom meeting.
Kind of gives him some like level of interest, you know?
Yeah,
people
definitely.
might ask
Instead of just a white wall.
Right.
Well, and it's like lets people know like this is a little bit of my personality before you even meet me.
Exactly. So
I'm a cool dude.
He's working on getting that all organized. He's got all his old consoles set up on display, and then he's a couple like weird little like miniature things of different characters that are just around. So then we're gonna have the cross stitch. There's a little sidewall. We're gonna put that down.
That'll be really cute. That'll be really
awesome.
cute.
So that's my future cross stitches.
That's gonna be really cool.
Yes.
That's gonna be really cool. I have a few whips. Some of them you've seen before. One is a new start. I will go through. Let's start with this one. So this one is one I've showed before. It is Barbara Anna's Light. It is the little fox with the lantern. It's very, very cute.
Yes.
And here is what it looked like last time.
There
we go. And here's what it looks like now. I've made some real progress on this. The last time I showed it, I had just like gotten part of her, kind of gotten started on the dress. I've now made significant progress on that dress.
Look at that foxy lady.
And in the face. Got a little start on her tail. So that is coming on quite nicely. I'm really pleased. Especially because I think I only got like 1 or 2 days on working on her. Once I realized that Spellville was very close to being done, I was like, okay, we're going to kind of prioritize.
Yeah.
But one thing about it is you can kind of see there, her sleeve color is very close to my linen color. So her sleeve is disappears a little.
Oh.
But we're not going to worry about that. That's life. I mean, once you see the hand, I think that'll help it stand out. So that's coming on quite nicely. And my sister has mentioned a couple times, like, you need that finished because, like, it's going to be on the wall. And I'm like, I know, but Halloween stuff. Because I apparently...
Oh, you're on a Halloween kick.
I'm on a Halloween kick. That's kind of my life, though.
Yeah.
I have a secret goth Chewy center to my heart.
A little inner goth.
Yeah. And then I made some more progress on. This is Horrific Halloween. It was a pattern of the month from Stoney Creek magazine that I started in 2018, but I have been like really working through. And I had finished, last time you saw it, I had just finished the Eye of Newt section. So I got started on the next section, which is Witches, Spells, and Ghostly Screams.
This is going to look awesome when it's done.
Yeah. So all of this down here at the bottom with the
ghost
and the start of a cauldron. that is all been completed. This one, I'm serious. I barely worked on, and I feel so happy with the progress I've made.
I mean, every time I come over, you have like a whole new section done.
I know. I'm booking it on this.
Yeah.
And the ghost is glow in the dark thread.
Yes.
And he glows.
He shines.
Like, he glows bright neon green. So he looks like he actually almost looks like a toxic
Slimer.
waste. Yeah.
Slimer from
Ghostbusters. He looks like Slimer. So that is going to be really cool. And let me see if I can get it up here again. The Witch's Spells backstitching there is done with a blend of 2 different green threads. One is a Weeks Dye Works, and it just looks a little like swampy because of that, and I really like that.
Now, do either of those have like a border around them, kind of like the first thing?
No, they do not have. The first thing is the only one with the border.
Okay.
So these don't have border. I don't think all the way down. I don't think the rest have borders.
Okay.
This is just like the header.
Yeah. That's gonna look so cool.
It is gonna look so cool.
I'm so jealous that I didn't.
And I
I
realized that I said when we first started and I was talking about this project that I got all the stuff to do it, to complete the banner as shown by Stoney Creek. But I never actually showed, like, this is the thing. Sorry for crinkles. This is what it's going to hang from.
Yeah, I did buy that piece.
And look how cute he is. So cute.
Oh, that looks great against the window.
So he's going to look amazing. It's going to look amazing hanging. So yeah, I don't need more Halloween decor.
No.
But
that's the wrong answer.
I was going to say, that's actually the wrong thing to say there. And I got all the buttons and stuff too, which will be super cute.
Buttons will be fun to put on.
So that is coming along in my cute bag. I ordered more bags, but they haven't gotten here yet, so. And then, do I really only have 3 things going right now? Ooh, I'm going to have to start something else, guys. So my other is a new start. And this one I am super excited about because...
Show off your fancy bag.
Oh, let me show off my fancy bag. I'm getting one! This is by Tiny Modernist. It is called Halloween Ouija. Or Ouija, depending on your accent. And I'll give you a picture, but it is it is currently going on along. It is her stitch along that's currently happening. So she's only released 2 parts, so all the blurred out sections are coming. But I got it started. And this is my little bit of a start. I'm gonna hold this up here.
Look at that face.
Yeah, so it's I'm starting in the top left corner, and it has the little quarter of the frame and the sun that isn't complete yet. I've only worked on this one evening, so it's a very new start. I am stitching this on, I'm in love with this fabric.
It is very nice.
The recommended fabric was it was called like Sandcastle. It was just kind of a beigey color, and I wanted something that looked more like old parchment or wood or something like that.
I think you nailed it.
And this is from Fiona's Craft Cottage on Etsy. And she has a great selection of stuff. It is...
We agonized over fabric.
Yeah, I'm terrible with choosing colors. So I sent like 3 different options around a couple people. You, my sister, and someone else. And was like, which of these do you think looks right? And everybody agreed. This is 28 count even weave. Called Cappuccino Froth. And that is the perfect name for it. And it is the perfect color for this project. So it's also wonderful to stitch on. It's lovely. I love it. So I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy about starting another haunted house because I need more. I need more. And
you're just gonna have to decorate every room with all of your cross stitch, all your Halloween.
I know.
It's not gonna be a wall anymore. It's gonna be your whole house.
It's gonna be my whole house. And
then you just have to decide: is it worth it to put up spring?
Yeah, is it worth it to ever go back? I decided to substitute 2 of the colors. It's a 3-color Ouija board because it's just black and white. So it's mostly 310. And then 2 colors I decided to substitute with the Weeks Dye Works options. I like the little bit of variegation. I like the little bit of, like, it seems almost tea-stained. It seems almost old and aged because the thread is not just plain old black.
I think it adds an amount of depth to your project.
See that little bit of modeling in the white and everything?
Yeah.
That's gonna...
I don't think our camera will pick that up. But
no, it's not gonna. But, so this is Weeks Dye Works whitewash and blackboard. I just substituted in for the white and gray. And I'm still using the 17 skeins of 310. I gotta get this on cards. Oh,
yes.
So, but that will be, it's going to be really pretty. It's going to be really nice. And I think those are my whips currently. Is that all of them? Perfect Halloween, like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm going to need to start something else. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's such a tragedy, really.
That's hard job for you.
I know. What else? Oh, I have a little bit of haul. You got your 3 other video game patterns. I only got 1 pattern this week. It's not been a big week where I'm like, I need more stuff. I've got stuff planned.
Mm-hmm.
But I grabbed this one here. It's called Mandala by, I gotta look because it's Kana and Ilan. They're a Thai cross stitch pattern designer. And it's just simple, but I really enjoyed doing parts of Spellville, the key especially, where it was all one color and it was just kind of intricate. I was like, I really want to try something all one color. So I'm going to pick a pretty variegated floss and just do this cool mandala that will it'll look good all the time.
So are you going to use like Weeks Dye Works or?
I don't know, I might pick a fancy floss or DMC has some variegateds that are really nice. I might just go to Four Seasons and like
they do have some
poke around in colors
for stuff like that.
I know. So it'll be fun. Yeah. They have some really nice. I think they have some gentle arts as well, so I can like play.
They have a decent floss selection.
They do.
I mean, they have quite a few.
It's not bad. And the other thing I got is just a little bit. I needed to order buttons from Stoney Creek for the Horrific Halloween banner, and I didn't want to just order buttons because they have a flat shipping thing. So the buttons were $3 and the shipping was $5. And I was like, well, but if I added more to the cart, the shipping would still be $5. So I just grabbed a book. This is by Leisure Arts Stitchery. It is 136 alphabet charts. And it just has fun alphabets because I wanted to do some more stuff with lettering and typography, and there's some really cute
There's
ones.
some fancy stuff in there. Like that one has people in it.
Yeah, there's some fancy stuff. This one has ballerinas. I'm just gonna like from a distance so that nobody's getting me for copyright. But there's some really cute. Here's a thing where you can kind of see there are the ballerinas at the top, but they have some cute like just different type faces as well.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. It's gonna be fun to look through. But it also got me over the shipping thing. And that's kind of all the haul we have this time.
For cross stitch.
For cross stitch, yeah.
We'll move into yarn.
Yeah. I'll have to decide when I'm starting, and then I'll be back and we'll do another new start. Yeah.
Plotting.
We were talking about your boyfriend is a little chaotic, and you're more structured than your boyfriend.
But I'm not that structured.
I have a bullet journal where I schedule my projects.
I'm not that structured.
And then,
that's the structure.
And then the car accident like threw me off for 3 days because I couldn't like
move your neck.
I couldn't move my neck or like sit and like hold something up for a long amount of time. And so I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I want stuff done. I was working on the blanket. And I'm like, I want it done. But I get to schedule something else.
Yeah. Now this week you just have to make up for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm back to I got
week.
back to the blanket really quick, but I'm almost done May.
Yeah. So there's no crochet this episode because the blanket we've decided is going to be shown when there's a lot of progress on it.
Yeah, like maybe once I get a month done, so you can actually see
some work done on it.
It's just so huge. It's like you don't need to see me do 3 lines that you can't tell every time.
I've done nothing for my wall hanging.
Oh my goodness, we're bad.
Well, there was trips involved in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a busy 3 weeks. It has been crazy.
Yeah.
But we did have a question.
Yeah, so we were talking with one of your friends.
Yeah, we were talking with my friend Mary, and she was like, I really enjoyed watching your podcast, which...
So happy. People like us.
I know, right? And she is a crocheter and a knitter and a quilter. But she is... she's a beginner, I would say, like an advanced beginner.
Adventurous beginner.
She's a very adventurous beginner.
Yes.
And she asked about, like, she struggles with things like coordinating colors. She's like, can you talk a little bit about, you guys have been doing it for a couple years now, and I think Devynn has amazing, like, color coordination skills. Like, you're always like, I can't visualize anything. I'm like, well, when you get it, you're amazing at it.
Yeah, I don't see stuff up here. So
yeah, I'm not great at that either.
Yeah.
But we thought we'd talk a little bit about how we pick our colors, how we think about starting a project, especially with yarn projects. But it could apply to cross stitch if I was like, I just feel like replacing shit and starting over, or doing this pattern all my way.
Right.
Thinking about color coordination, and my answer is very easy. I go to Devynn. Which reminds me, I need your help.
Okay.
Maybe you can help me right here on the podcast.
Okay, what's the help with?
We are getting hotter and hotter, and for my temperature blanket, I need the next color. I planned my temperature blanket all the way up to 84 degrees, and we are now hitting almost 90.
90s.
So I need to get the next couple colors up. I knew this would happen, but I knew it wasn't going to happen for a while when I was planning it out in January.
Right.
So I need to pick a new color. Maybe you can help me after. We won't do it right here. But
yeah, I'd be very happy to help you with that.
Yeah.
Like we spent a lot of time picking out some colors, and you're using the Cascade yarns. There's quite a palette.
There's quite a lot of that is one of the things when I was starting the blanket. I knew I wasn't going to buy all the yarn for this ginormous thing up front.
Yeah.
So I picked a yarn that I knew was going to be around, that I knew I could get consistent enough coloring. Like, I'm sure there's some lot issue, some lot differences here and there, but I'm doing bands and stripes. You can see the blanket if you want it. And I knew I wouldn't have to worry about that too much. And I knew I could get enough of it, and then I could add and mess around as needed. But I have, I'm shade colorblind. I struggle with blues and browns and things like that. And so I consult. I consult Devynn. I consult
she
my
outsources?
sister. I do. I outsource. I'm like, so like I knew kind of the general, like I knew I didn't want blue is cold, red is hot, fade up, right? I knew I didn't want that.
You wanted something a little different.
I wanted something a little more random. And I knew I liked this gold and this green.
Yeah.
Go from there, Devynn.
and so like part of my process whenever I do stuff on my own projects is I work from that a lot. So I think I have like two main approaches. Either I have a pattern and I need to find yarn for it, or I have a color and I need to find the rest of the colors that are going to go together with this one color. So like what Lauren's talking about with her blanket, she kind of picked out a couple colors, and then we're trying to like look at what goes with that. And on hers, we used I think, wasn't it Webb's website?
Yeah, we started on Webb's and Lovecrafts.
Yes. Lovecraft, I think, had better pictures of the same yarn.
They do.
Even though it's available on... Wait, I think you ended up purchasing most from Webb's, right? Or both. Maybe both.
I've moved to Lovecrafts because Webb's for a while was out of stock.
Okay.
Because of the Rona.
But anyway, so we just compared between the two, just using the pictures, like what colors would probably look nice together. And we kind of went a little like with, I don't know if this orange should really be the coldest temperature or something. I thought there was a little bit of that. Yeah, there's
a little bit of that.
But not quite a fading gradient of colors.
Yeah. But we started with like some key colors and then coordinated.
Yeah, so it was just finding like, okay, I remember you really like that pumpkin spice color.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well that is not gonna look very good next to this like very dark navy blue or something. So we had to find a, you know, like a color that would kind of go with it, because orange and blue does go together, but certain shades of blue weren't looking right against that orange.
And that's where I really struggle. So like that kind of stuff.
That's where I was comparing pictures and trying to kind of get an idea of how to put those colors together. And so for my own knitting, I do something very similar. I didn't think about this when we were doing your blanket, to be honest, but with knitting, that's
because I kind of just was at work and called her over and was like,
let's look at this
right now. I'm already halfway and I'm losing my mind.
So with knitting, I can show you.
Yeah, she has a much more...
I have a lot of resources. Yeah. I have been knitting for 8 years, and when I started with solid colors only. Anything that used multiple colors was like, I guess that's got to be white or black or gray, because I don't know. And so I've kind of picked up a couple of things. So this yarn that I'm pulling out now, I've talked about on last podcast. It's a minty green. My ball is kind of falling apart. I need some ball bags for my ball maintenance.
Maintain your balls.
But, so I was talking about Exploration Station, a shawl by Stephen West that I have wanted to knit. Side note, Grocery Girls right now are doing a knit along, a West along, where you can knit any Stephen West pattern and you can enter it, and it has to be done by August 30th. That's kind of what pushed me more toward like, all right, I talked about it last podcast. Oh, now I have a reason to like skein up or wind up the yarn and cast this project on. So when I started though thinking about this project, I had this color and I love this minty green, and I just really wanted something to coordinate with it. I didn't know what to coordinate. So where I started was with Pinterest. I literally go to Pinterest and I do mint green color palette in my search. And I just look at all these options. And there were lots of different color coordinations for mint green. And the one I liked the most involved a dusty pink, because hello me and pink. And then it also had a nice gold. So then the next thing I did was kind of go to my stash, look at what I already have. And I did have this ball's also falling apart because I used it in another project. This is the Dusty Rose Pink that I used in the Wildflowers and Honey shawl. And I have, these were 550 yard skeins, and I have 2 whole...
Yeah, you got plenty of that.
Yeah, I'm not running out. And I think the shawl only needs like 200 and some yards of it, so I'm still not going to use all of the leftovers. So then, the pattern also called for a gray and a gold. So I had a gray in stash because there was a period of time when I needed to buy a black. And I said, well, while I'm buying a black, I might as well buy a good other staple.
Like a nice neutral.
Yes. So I went ahead and had that. And then I needed a gold. Gold is a hard color to shop for. But luckily, there are indie dyers out there who have nailed it. So, this ball is also kind of scraggly. It's been tossed around in the bag a little bit. So this is a skein from Dyed by Dells, which I had bought a navy blue yarn from. Last podcast I talked about it for a hat, and this was a fingering weight. This is not merino. All the other skeins I've shown you are superwash merino. This one is I think it's 100% BFL blue-faced Leicester wool.
It is a very great, I mean, this color.
This is perfect gold. The color is called Minnie's Wheat.
Yeah, that kind of wheat gold.
It is a very good wheat color.
Like baked bread.
Yes. it goes really well with this. And I'm really happy with all the colors. I did start the project, but I have to frog it because I'm not very far, so it's not a whole lot to frog, but I messed up somewhere in here and my stitch counts isn't right. I was trying to do this complicated.
Look at those together. They're so pretty.
Yeah.
This gold makes this gray look a little blue, but not too bad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And, you know, I'm kind of on the fence about the gray. I might swap it out with something else. I do have a black if I choose to throw black in.
Yeah.
But
these like kind of muted, like misty, foggy
they're
colors.
They're very like, to me, those three, the pink, the green, and the gray, are like Easter. They just like
a little bit, but they're like
springy.
high-end Easter. Like, oh no, we don't do just pastels. We do muted antique pastels.
Right.
like
They're
that's
fancy.
what they are. Yeah.
So,
They really go nicely together.
They do go nicely together. And I picked all these colors out. 3 of them were things I had in stash. I am a novice to having a stash. So I'm growing. I just kind of sort of started building a stash of nicer indie dyed yarn last year. So in the past, I've never really had stuff to pull from stash for projects. So this was nice to have that. But if you don't have it, one of the things I've learned is don't rely on just one dyer and think you can't shop around and mix up dyers. This is 4 different dyers of yarn that will be in this project. So I told you the gold was dyed by Dells. The pink is My Love Rose by Avalon Springs Farm.
One of your favorites.
One of my favorites. This gray is called Platinum, and it's by Mrs. Babs. This is my first Mrs. Babs skein. She's a very prominent indie dyer. Most people know of her. This green is Succulent, and it's by Rose Hill Yarns.
That's a really nice.
It's a really nice green. And Rose Hill Yarns is a indie dyer from Canada. And I found them because I follow the Grocery Girls, and they share lots of Canadian dyers. So I fell in love with her dye style, and when I saw the green, I had to have it. And then I just kind of started to picture what pattern it would go with, and I love Exploration Station by Stephen West, and I thought that mint green would be great. What's it need to go with? So I found all the things. Now I have all the things. So that's kind of part of my color selection. I also, so like with my sweater, I did a little bit differently. I did everything a little bit differently for the sweater. So this scenario is I had a ball of yarn or skein of yarn that I knew I wanted to use, and I just needed to know what went with it.
And then pick the pattern to use those.
Pick the pattern that would coordinate those colors.
Yeah.
And then I guess I should finish talking about this before I move on to the sweater thing. So to figure out how to arrange the pattern, because you can look at the Exploration Station and see there's so many different like ways you could pair the colors together. I have, in the past, I have printed a picture of the shawl and we colored it in with colored pencils, but I just found the Colorscapes app, which I'm going to send Lauren a really sloppily, because I did this on my phone with my fingers and not like a fancy stylus, colored in picture of the Stephen West shawl. And there's a picture of him where he's holding it all stretched out, and you can see exactly how the shawl is going to look. And Colorscapes just turns your picture into a black and white image, and you can just color in with the color palette that they have. So the colors on Colorscapes is a little limited. It doesn't have a ton of shade variation, but it was close enough to get the job done.
Yeah, to make an inference.
To help me understand, like, should the gold go here or the pink here, you know?
Yeah. Like, you're not going to get 7 shades of pink, but you can see if the pink and the green go together.
Right. I I was able to use it. And like I said, you could always just turn the picture into a black and white sketch and then print it and color it in with colored pencils, because you can get whatever shade you want that way.
Yeah. But having that visual to like lay it out.
I'm very visual. Like, there are people who don't have to do this step with their with their shawls that use a lot of colors, or sweaters even. I'm so visual. I need it. I have 3 other, I've referred to them as color challenging shawls. I did the Find Your Fade, which I showed in our first episode. That had, I think, a total of 7 or 8 shades.
Yeah, it had a lot.
It had a lot of yarn in it. And I had picked one color. I'm like, I love this. I need all the others to go with it. So, one of the things I did for that one was, at the end of the pattern, Andrea Mowry is awesome enough to include like a black and white sketch of it. So I used that to kind of color in. This was before I knew how to like use a computer to turn my pictures into a black and white sketch. So she includes it in her pattern,
which is nice to have
that
that
I was
little extra.
able to color it in and kind of figure out, like, I made copies of it and then I colored it in a couple different ways. And then another shawl I did, I showed, I think also in our first episode, was Caitlin Hunter has a pattern called Camp Wilkerson. And Lauren had bought me this yarn as a gift for a birthday or Christmas, and it was a teal and a purple and a gray and a variegated that had all those colors in it. And I'm like, I have these 4 skeins, the DK weight, how do I use them? I did a whole bunch of research on Ravelry to find a pattern that I would like. So I used the Ravelry Q section, and I just threw literally any shawl that incorporated 4 colors into my queue, and then I kind of played around looking through other projects that people have linked to the pattern and seeing like what they look like, and asking myself,
how do the colors fall, and
will I wear that shawl? And
if
I didn't like that answer, I would remove it from the queue, and that's helped me narrow. And then I also use Instagram has hashtags for almost all the patterns. Like, if you go to Instagram and do Exploration Station, there's going to be a hashtag with millions of people's links to
how
their
they laid
photos
out their colors,
and
what they chose.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram, Ravelry, I use an arsenal to do color. I mean, it really is, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to put all the hours of work into making the project, I want to make sure that I got the colors right, that I'm not frogging it halfway through because I don't like how the colors look together.
Or getting halfway through it, like another whip of yours, and realizing I absolutely hate the way this yarn is turning out. I absolutely hate it. Yeah. And you like never pick it up
I do
again.
have a whip that's like that. Did we show that one yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Devastating whip.
It's buried in the depths of my yarn corner, of my knitting corner. So that one I did not do any work for. Really, I didn't use any of my tools. I bought 3 skeins from a yarn shop, and I was sad that they didn't work together.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about that later when I show it. So let's see. I talked about Ravelry and Instagram with this and the Colorscapes app. Yeah. So with my sweater, I did it a little differently. I knew that I wanted a particular type of yarn. I wanted Brooklyn Tweed's shelter base, or I was also looking at, I think it's Harrisville Designs. I forget what the base name is, but it's the worsted weight base. And I was torn between the two, and I watch a lot of podcasts. So the Fat Squirrel Speaks has a wonderful podcast that's an entire review of woolen spun, not worsted weight, woolen spun yarns. And if you should just watch her podcast, because I don't have that level of knowledge. I mean, I learned a little from her.
Learn something.
But it's not one of her bonus episodes, but it is one she did this year. So if you just go through her history, it's titled like Woolen Spun something or other. I'm really bad at this. I'll link it in the show notes. But I wasn't planning on talking about it, so it's not in my notes. But anyway, she did this great review. Reviewed all of these types of yarns, and that's helped me pick the type of yarn I wanted. I wanted something next to Skin Soft, but I also I'm a big lady, and when you start knitting a worsted weight sweater, you're talking a heavier garment. So when I, one of the reasons I chose woolen spun is because it is a loftier, lighter yarn. So
and you already had your pattern selected. You knew the type of yarn.
Had the pattern, had the type of yarn, needed a color. So I went to Instagram and looked at Brooklyn Tweeds, Shelter, and all these projects, and I saw like the different colors, how they knit up, what they looked like. And I also went to Ravelry, and on Ravelry you can look up Brooklyn Tweed, go to yarns, go to the Shelter base, and then you can actually choose the colorway. So I chose a couple colorways that I liked, and I looked at all the projects and how they knit up and what they looked like, and I finally chose the color Foothills. Really felt like it fit me. It's like a nice sagey green, and it's beautiful. I love it. And I used all these tools to help me choose the colors for one sweater. But when you're spending a month and a half to knit the sweater,
you're spending a month and a half and $200 in yarn.
Yeah,
like you want the right decision.
Yeah.
If you're working on, you're making a washcloth for somebody. But for something you're gonna wear every day, you're gonna wear it. It's gonna last.
Project like a blanket,
Yeah. Like but you're especially you want that. You want it to last.
Mm-hmm.
That is a legacy sweater. You could pass that down if you wanted to. Like do it right the first time.
Yes.
It's very difficult. But similar to you, like, I love that part of things. I love digging through and making decisions and let me spreadsheet it out and let me look at this and let me okay, I'm gonna actually color this in 4 different ways so I can see it.
Yes.
I'm pretty visual too, and I do struggle with color, so I try and prep a lot in advance before I start sitting down with a project. Before
you sit down to start it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of behind the scenes, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And also, if you guys have tips or tricks or methods that you're using to, kit up your projects and think about color.
Choosing all your colors and patterns to go with your colors.
Yeah, we would love to hear it because we are always learning as well. We're always figuring out new ways and finding...
If there's a better app for that,
let me know. Tools, let us know. And also, people think about color so differently. Like, would love to hear how you, start a project.
Yeah.
So let us know.
Absolutely.
So you showed us one whip. You got any more?
I do. So this is a scarf I'm making for my boyfriend Jason.
It's so pretty.
It is very pretty. I love the yarn. The yarn I did get from Rhinebeck. I went in 2019, and this year is sadly canceled, but it'll be okay. There will be more festivals in my life someday.
Yes. And that is... So what's the yarn?
The yarn is Loop Fiber Studio. The colors are Once and For All, and I don't remember which color. There's the light blue and the dark blue. Which one is which? I'll hold up the balls because they're better to see the colors. So these are my yarns.
They're very pretty.
And they're very nice. They complement each other very well.
Well, they're like mirrors, right? Like one is light and dark and one is dark and light.
Yes. So very nice together. I made him a hat out of these yarns and he wants a scarf. So we went to Ravelry and I looked for patterns for men. You can sort by gender.
Which is difficult in knitwear.
It is difficult. And also some of the stuff that shows up can be odd, which is not what you would expect. But I found a couple that he would like and I showed them to him and he settled on this one. This one is, I'm going to let you say it. You are way better.
I have to look at it. It is, I believe it's called Piet by Cecilia Compacciaro.
Yes. We're going to link it because I'm not sure how to say it.
Here's what it looks like when it's done and her name on Ravelry.
Yeah. And mine is going to look very different because the yarns together are like more marled. So I think that's looking like something you can see.
Yeah.
So the pattern is very simple, 4-row repeat. It is a paid pattern. It was $8, I think. Anyway, so I haven't been knitting on it for very long. Obviously, it's very small. I do have to knit like 6 feet forever on a scarf. Yeah. I haven't knit a rectangular scarf in a while. This gray is waste yarn. This is a provisional cast on. So you chain with a crochet hook with your waste yarn, several stitches. I didn't count my chain, I just kept chaining. So you do need to count your stitches that you're making into the chain with the knitting. So you use your knitting needle to kind of, I'll use this end. I'm not very good at a tutorial, you guys can look this up, but
there are tutorials.
You pick up, you stick your knitting needle through and you pick up and then you just knit into the provisional cast on. And so you
What do you do that for?
So it's to make it so that your bind off and cast on edges can match.
Okay, to get like a neat identical.
Identical, yeah. And there are other, like, you can actually start and end a project with cast on and bind off edges that will match. I've done that with dishcloths before. I followed the pattern. It said to do this, so I'm doing this.
Yeah. Now you learned a new thing.
Yeah, I was just trying to see where they're going with it. So you can, like if you did this in, if you wanted this stitch pattern in a cowl, you could do this stitching so far. Once you get to your edges, you can actually use these live stitches here that are part of your provisional cast on to kind of sew together, make a nice even seam.
Gotcha. That's its uses then.
Yeah, it's used for quite a few different things in knitting. I certainly don't know them all, but I know provisional can be very useful in getting a good match for your bind off and cast on edges.
So I mean, I really like the scarf. I like the
It's got a nice texture.
Yeah, the texture, the
bumpies,
bubbles to it. What'd you call them?
Pearl? It's purl stitches. All it is a series of knit and purls. I can't say too much without giving away the pattern, but it's a series of knit and purls that give it the nice texture. So it's very simple.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It seems also pretty simple for a paid pattern.
Yeah, it's a little simple. It's if I were doing this over, I'm not sure I would pick this pattern. I don't love how the yarn is going along in the pattern. Jason likes it, so that is at the end of the day what matters.
Choice, yeah.
It's also like Lauren helped me with you saying it's simple. So by being simple, it's a little almost too simple for what I was looking for in a pattern. So I'm not loving all of it, but he is going to love this. He's going to wear it. That is what matters.
That is the goal.
Also, if I were to do this project again, I would choose a solid light and dark yarn so that you could see the texture a little bit better than that shows it pretty well. I mean, it's blowing out the blue a little, but it is showing the texture better. So, if you chose the light and dark yarn, you would see it even better. Whereas like from a distance, you're not seeing any of this.
Yeah, you're not really gonna see. You might see it and think it has like an interesting pattern to it.
This is a good example of where color choice does matter on how your project is going to look.
But I think it will compliment him. He'll wear it all the time. Yeah. He loves it, and he's gonna feel that texture too.
Yes.
It feels important.
It feels nice, and the yarn is very soft, so it's going to feel very nice against his little neck. So after that, that's really my only knitting whip. I have 3 finishes. So let's start with this one. So this is very dark and hard to see on the camera, but this is it is called the watch cap, the World War II watch cap pattern. I was trying to show the little design on the top, but anyway,
there is like a cross, isn't there?
Yeah, there's like a three little things that come together legs. So this is by Helen Waits, and this pattern has been knit through the ages. Since World War II, it was very popular to knit this and send it to servicemen.
That's gonna be a cute skater girl.
Look at you being all cute with your earrings. Look at those triangle earrings.
My Hobby Lobby $3 earrings that they caught me. They caught me in the freaking opening of the store.
They're super
like
fancy.
I'm noticing that they're like
Really?
reflecting the light a little intensely.
I think it's nice. I think they look awesome. So, my cousin Nick, who's in the Navy, asked me to make him a hat. Or no, he didn't ask me to make him a hat. Brain dead. So, my family is putting together a gift box for my cousin Nick, who's in the Navy, and we're going to send it all to him. And I thought, a great opportunity to knit a hat. And I wanted to knit something a little more special, so I found this hat with history to it. So I'm going to send him this hat with a little, like, description of not only how to take care of it, but also, like, why I chose this hat pattern. Like, why do people make this hat? There's, like, a pamphlet that was printed way back in the 40s that it was part of, it was called Beanie number 212 then. Or this pattern is based off of Beanie number 212 or something like that. So I'm going to send him all that information, and it'll be a nice little care package for him as he's on a boat somewhere for the Navy.
Well, like, I can see why this would be I'm sure you could bust these out in bulk if you needed to.
Yes.
Like in World War II when they needed, like, you could bust this out. But at the same time, it is a functional, you chose this great blue for the Navy, like, they'll let him wear it. We talked about that last time, I remember.
Yeah, the color, he could do black or navy blue.
And the yarn is super soft and comfy and has a good, like, I put it on, has a good slouch and feel. But you can also tell it's going to hold up to how a Navy guy washes his clothes.
Yes,
it's
I think
going
it's going to hold up very well.
So I can see why, historically, like, just push them out, get the guys something they can wear.
Yes.
And that is super cool.
So the yarn in this is dyed by Dells. I talked about it last time. It's dyed by Dells, and it's called Harry's Suit. It's a very, very nice.
Yeah, it has that
tonal
navy suit color.
I'm trying to get close enough, but the light's not working.
Yeah, the light isn't coming from there. It's coming from back here. So I think I pull back. There you go.
I got some light there. So, yeah, it is very tonal. It's got a nice flow in the color. My stitches look great if I just said so myself.
It does look great.
So that's that hat.
It looks like machine made. It looks so good.
That
you could have bought it.
is a great compliment.
Yeah, it
Thank
looks
you.
so good. You could have bought it.
So I have one other, I have two other finishes. So this is Maggie's Beret, and Lauren's going to be my hat model.
Because I have no hair, it's easy to model hats.
I have my hair in a bun, so it's not going to model well. This was a super quick knit. I actually knit 2 hats 4th of July weekend. The one I just showed you and this one.
I'm going to be a cute hipster girl, guys.
Now you are, yes. You're very hipster.
Just give me different hats and I'll be a different cute chick somewhere.
Exactly. So that is with yarn and a pattern that I won from the Best Day Ever Crafting podcast. And the package, I had a delay in receiving it. Not from the podcasters. No. My boyfriend checked the mail, picked up the package, brought it to our house, put it in his office, and never gave it to me. So there I am, like, hi, I wonder what's going on with this package. Like, I had him go check again, and he said there's nothing there. And I'm like, well, I wonder if it's at another address. And we checked there, and it's not there. And long story short, found it several weeks after what I expected to have received it. And I was very happy because I actually got all the things. So it was that hat, or the yarn that I used in the hat, and a pattern, and there's a little stitch marker, and they had these adorable little cards. I'll send Lauren pictures to insert, hopefully here, of their podcast name. And so it's Trisha and Arthella. It's Tie-Dye Diva. Trisha's Tie-Dye Diva, and Arthella is Eris Knits. And they're doing a, it's like a quarantine I forget the name of what they're calling it. I'm really sorry. We'll have that linked below, of course.
Some kind of quarantines.
It's like a quarantine along.
along.
So they're basically posting like little chatter threads and asking you to answer questions of how you do things. My question, I remember now, my question it was, what is one of your go-to knits? And I started out knitting and actually knit frequently little tiny pumpkins. I'll have to bring some sometime.
Yeah, someday we will see the tiny pumpkins.
Someday you'll see the pumpkin.
It's getting to be fall, like...
Well, I took a break from them is why. So I knit so many, I know kind of like, oh, so many pumpkins. But I have a new pumpkin pattern that I'm going to try out. So I'll have to show those. But the pumpkins that I've knitted have always been my pattern. I used to actually knit and sell them. I don't anymore. People do love them, but I don't have the energy to knit a whole bunch of pumpkins. I want to knit what I want to knit.
I need 72 pumpkins.
But their question was, what is one of your easy go-to knits? A lot of people answer with socks, and mine was pumpkins. And I just happened to be the lucky winner. And I got this wonderful yarn. This is Plucky Knitter yarn. And I believe the color is called Pico Blue.
Pico Blue.
Like a peak of blue. And it is a nice slate grayish blue, steely blue.
Yeah,
it's very pretty.
Models and I mean, just look at that.
Yes.
It's so pretty.
And I was very happy, and I of course when I won, I gushed to Arthella like, oh my god! Yeah.
Who's the? It's called Maggie's Beret. Who's the pattern by?
I wrote that down. Don't ask me things. I wrote it down. I don't think I wrote
Danielle Romanetti.
Yes. Okay.
I have it in my notes.
Haha. One of us is organized. We're working on it, guys.
I really like this because the grip around your head is just right. This hat has some weight to it. It's not gonna, but it's not slipping back.
It's not going back.
It's not, you know, or slouching down. Like I've had beanies that just slowly,
creep down and sit on your glasses.
Yeah, they get warm and they sit on your glasses. This is like really nicely designed.
Yeah. It was a pattern that Arthella has knit several times and talked about on the podcast, on their podcast, a whole bunch. And I was really excited to try it out. Yeah. Also, when you block it, you put this around a dinner plate.
Oh, to get the shape. That's awesome.
The shape, yes. So I used just one of our dinner plates, and it does create this nice round, very, and I mean, you could see when Lauren wears it that it, if you want to put it on again.
It falls really nice.
It still holds that little fold from the dinner plate, so that's nice. That is some of the magic of blocking. So you get it to be the shape you want it.
Yeah.
So, wonderful pattern.
Cute.
I really enjoyed it. I was so happy to win a prize from the Best Day Ever Crafting podcast. I do watch them all the time. I missed a few episodes here and there, but I do try to participate quite a bit in their thingy along. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at names. Names and places and words and things. They're not my strong point. Better names would be
places,
helpful.
people, words, things. Verbs. She's got verbs down.
Maybe. So, those are my two hats. And then I have...
the big one.
So this is my sweater, guys.
It's done. It's finished. It has two sleeves and
arms.
everything.
And it still has the stitch markers in it because even though I've washed it and blocked it, I didn't take those out. I was trying to mark progress, but whatever. That didn't happen. Anyway, so this sweater took me, I've been saying a month and a half, but it's really, I started it May 17th and I finished it in early June. So maybe a month and a week. It took me longer to block it.
No, couldn't have been early June. Mid-June.
Mid-June. Maybe it was a month and a half. Well, no, May 17th. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so a month.
Yes.
A month.
It was very quick. It was a very quick knit.
Sorry, I was thinking about the podcast schedule. I'm like, wait, she didn't have this finished last time. That's how I remember things now. Podcasts are the milestones.
So the things that I don't know, add time.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
How do I live my life? Oh no. So this yarn is the Brooklyn Tweed. It is in the shelter base. It is in the color Foothills. It is wonderful. It's soft. It softened so much with washing. Like, it is definitely a good next to skin wear.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you first were knitting your sweater, I'm like, oh, I think that could be a little scratchy.
Yeah.
Not now. After this first wash, no.
Yeah, it is so soft. And I think I'm gonna wash it inside out next time. I don't know if that'll matter, but it might help soften the interior a little more. I don't know if that matters, but it makes sense in my brain, so I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
But it is a nice wear. It fits me really well. The only area where I have a little issue is the sleeves are a little long, so they come to here on my thumb. So yeah, they're just a little long.
But not too bad.
But it's more like an oversized sweater. I mean, I also have little arms. You can see.
Join the T-Rex arm club.
Little arms. Can that be our cover?
Yes.
Yeah. So the pattern said to knit to like 18 inches for the sleeves, and I measured a sweater that I wear all the time, and I'm like, 18 inches just does not seem right. It's not going to fit me. I measured my arm. I'm like, that just doesn't seem like it's going to fit me. So I did stop more than 1.5 inches. It might have been, well, what I did is, as you knit the sleeve, you do all these decreases through here. I literally knit to the end of the decreases and then did immediately the cuff, which I switched to smaller needles to do the cuff as the pattern instructs. I did not switch to smaller needles to do the waistband because I didn't want it sucking in
I don't like a
at my
waistband.
worst part.
I don't like a waistband. Tight waistband.
So the sleeves may have been helped if my row gauge would have been more right, but I really wasn't measuring, so I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I wasn't measuring my.
It's gonna be a comfy, slouchy sweater. It's gonna be very huge.
Yes. And I mean, it fits with the right amount of positive ease. Is exactly what I expected.
Yeah, through the bust and the waist is like the most important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try it on, but you can see it on here that it is going to, like, it lines up really well with my body here. Yeah. So the fit is
custom made to you.
Yes, and I love it. And I tried this on 100 times in the making. I would just put it on and just like dance like this.
Needles hanging from the bottom of it.
Needles hanging, and I'm just like, check out my sweater, yo, check out my sweater. So.
And your grandma got to wear it
My grandma wore it last night, so we were camping, and she didn't have her coat, she didn't have a sweater, and she was cold. And I'm like,
it's 79 degrees, but she's a little lady.
I mean, she's in her 80s. She's allowed to be cold, even though it's 80 degrees outside. So I gave her my sweater to wear, and she was so nervous the whole time she wore it, but she kept saying, like, this feels so nice. I love this. And she was really adorable.
Someday you might have to knit her a sweater.
Someday. She is tiny, so maybe I could knit her one.
Yeah, you could probably whip out a sweater for her in like 2 weeks.
It would not be.
If you did that one in a month, I bet you could do one for her in 2 weeks.
Maybe. It's hard to get sizes. I have to measure her. Anyway, that's the thing. But
some other time.
Those are all of my knitting finishes.
That's the big finishes though. Like that sweater, that's a big finish. The fact that you knit a whole sweater in a month.
And 2 hats right after that. 2 hats in a weekend.
Well, 2 simple hats, but still.
2 simple hats.
The sweater in a month. It's crazy.
The hats were great. The sweater is awesome. I will be wearing that sweater as soon as it's cold enough.
Yeah, it's been 85 here and we're dying. To all the people in Arizona, it's like 113. You know, like your shoes are melting as you walk down the street. I feel for you. I feel for you so bad.
Because I can't even handle 85 degrees.
We're actively like seeking out air conditioning at 85. We're not made for this.
Yes. I was telling Lauren, like, when we first started summer, we didn't have an air conditioning at my house. We had one last year. It broke. We never replaced it. One hot day was all it took. And I'm like, nope, not going to make it. Gotta go. Get in the car. We're going. We're going to go get an air conditioning.
Yep.
So I suffered through it for one day and I was like, nope, can't do it.
That's what the people in Florida and Arizona figured out. You do not go without
they're probably way smarter.
It's not livable.
Our heat is not like theirs though, but it's so sad that we're like dying at 85.
I know. We're mountain people.
We're mountain people. It's supposed to be cold here, guys. So I have lots of acquisitions.
Yay.
I'll have lots.
I don't have any haul for yarn. I haven't done any yarn shopping for a while. I need to start. Oh, I do actually have one little one. I'll tell you. So 4th of July, my aunt showed up with, guess what? A freezer bag full of random yarn she found at a yard sale. And it's like, there is one thing of crochet thread I might take out of there, but the rest is like stuff that's been skeined up on somebody's hand, and it's just like, you know,
you don't know how long
might
it
be
is.
20 feet of yarn, like nothing, and it's all weird acrylic and scrubby yarn and weird stuff. So I haven't gone through it yet, but it's not real haul.
That's yarn art projects.
Yeah, that's yarn art projects. Ooh, which I was in Hobby Lobby and I took pictures of several things because I thought I could make them myself. I'm like, you're not charging me $27 for this hoop with some tassels. I can make that. So maybe I'll have some art projects out of here.
Ooh, that could be exciting. Be with my wall hanging if I ever finish that. So, acquisitions. I have, this is from the Barrett Wool Company. This is Susan B. Anderson. If you're a knitter, you probably know who she is.
This tag.
Oh, yeah. So she creates these adorable little knitted stuffed animals. She does a lot more than just stuffed animals and yarn, but I bought, it's called the Oliver Pig Kit. Here's the pig, the little pig yarn. This is for his sweater. So he'll have a little sweater. I believe.
Jeans or jacket?
This is his cardigan. He has a cardigan.
He has a little removable cardigan.
I think these are his pants. And, best of all, where are they? They're in here. Little buttons. So these are like hand carved, handmade from the woolly moss roots, fancy buttons for his little cardigan. And she also included the download code for the pattern and a little coaster. And I love this coaster. I'm such an outdoorsy person. I mean, hello, I'm here from a campsite.
Yep.
Like, this is so me. I love this.
A full moon yarn ball. I love that.
Yeah, and then the last thing was this little tin has a whole bunch of the little key progress
A little
keepers.
safety pin.
Progress keepers. Yes, and that's gonna come in handy for me because I actually need a bunch of those because I somehow don't have just a million stitch markers hanging around yet.
Yeah.
Yet. I am working on my collections, Lauren. Do not judge me.
I'm constantly losing my stitch markers. I'm working on the blanket right now, and I keep losing them. I take them out and usually put them in my mouth, which is not good, but that's what I do. And then last night I lost one. I couldn't find it.
Did the
Got
cat
up.
take it?
Nope. Got up. Looked in the couch cushion. Got up. Looked under the, looked on the floor. Couldn't find it. Replaced it. Was doing something later. Reached up to I had an itch at my neck, and it had caught in the collar of my shirt, and was just hanging there.
Oh,
and I'm
my
like,
goodness.
Sarah, my sister watched me search for this, and meanwhile this bright pink thing is stuck to my neck, and you didn't help. And she's like, I don't know, I don't look at you.
What kind of answer is that? Jeez. Alright, so I have more acquisitions.
Ooh, these are pretties.
So I have these 3 skeins. I'll try to.
These are like
this up.
I would call this fairy floss. Ooh,
This
look at
is
these.
super nice. So this is fingering weight, 100% superwash merino. This is in the colorway Petals. This is by Dancing Leaf Dye Works. I participated in the Maryland Sheep and Wool, which was May 2nd.
It was online.
It was online. It was all virtual because the festival got canceled, which is really sad. But at least they did virtual, and I was able to participate. I really enjoyed supporting artists. I got quite a few things. The set included. And
Look at the size
Look at
of
the
this
skein. Look at my head next to the skein. It's beautiful. So this is also in the colorway Petals. You can tell like how different it dyes up on the mohair to the, this is mohair, I didn't say that. So the dye holds very differently to the mohair to the superwash base. These yarns are for, that's all, that's
This 990 yards.
Yes, massive.
Comparing to head size, like, what the fuck? Jesus. I've never seen a skein of anything this big, really, except maybe like roving.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get mohair like this.
It's awesome. I like it. It feels very nice. I am planning on hopefully doing like a love note sweater. So, is that by Tin Can Knits? I should know this. I think it's by Tin Can Knits. You know what? I'm going to link it below. I'm pretty sure it's
Link
Tin
it
Can
below. We'll
Knits.
put a picture in.
But it is a very popular sweater. Like, literally everybody has knit this sweater except for me.
Well, that's why you gotta go do it.
So, it is something that I plan on casting on down the road. But when I saw this yarn and I saw the color on her website, she has this all unwound and kind of like dangly thread yarn everywhere. So you can really see how the color splashes around. I loved it. I absolutely love it. And I really hope to be able to make my next sweater out of this yarn. I also got from the same place something new and fun.
Yeah, this was really interesting. When you showed it to me, I was like, I
So,
have not seen something like this before.
I have not seen something like this or heard of this before. I mean, I don't pretend to be an expert on everything, but this is called the Nuno Felting Kit. So,
Felt scarf kit.
felt scarf. So you have this fancy little, I'm sorry for the crinkle, I should have got it out of the plastic beforehand. You have this fancy little chiffon scarf that is beautiful, and she hand dyes this. So she orders this scarf and then she hand dyes it, and then she dyes all of the wool that goes into it. So this is like some just general, I think it's merino roving. Set it there, don't fall. And then I don't know what this is, but it is some wooliness that feels like a freaking cloud. I mean, it is so soft.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either, but it is crazy.
No idea. It might say if we open it
Yeah,
up.
let me look in here.
Materials.
Merino wool, mohair, silk, and glitz.
This might have the silk in it.
Yeah.
Because I think this is the glitz. This baggie you can see has some sparkly business in it. Some super fancy stuff. And then this is mohair locks, I think. Oh look, there's a little bit of farm in there. See my little bit of farm? So what you do is you lay this stuff out on the scarf the way you want it, and there's lots of directions. I mean,
It's a very nice kit.
so there's this little page, there's this back page, and then there's this middle insert of like how to do this. There's steps for how to dry it. So you basically lay this stuff out, get it wet, and that it's like wet felting. You're wet felting the wool to this scarf. And you can see...
It's such a like mixed media art of like creating a wavy scarf.
Yes. So I think what I will be doing with this is it will be yet another wall hanging. I don't think this is something I'm going to be wearing.
But as like a bunting or something, that could be really cool.
What's a bunting?
The things that go like this.
Yes. I don't know.
Garland, bunting.
So this you like wet felt it to this, and then I plan on I have a couple spots on my wall that I could hang this, something like this, because like I said, I have a giant empty white wall. So.
And this is by Dancing Leaf?
This is also by
Dancing Leaf Dye Works.
I have not seen anyone else with this kind of like a thing going on, like this type of a kit.
Yeah, that is such a unique idea.
It's very unique. I'm excited to do it. I'm gonna need some time and space, which space is gonna be the problem because I like it sounds like you need a table to lay it out on. So I'm gonna have to make some arrangements to. That is all of my acquisitions. There's a lot in there, but the Dancing Leaf Dye Works I bought at the beginning of May, and it is now July. I'm delayed in showing this to everybody, but it's not the dyer's, like, there's no issue on her part. It's all like, I left it sit in the post office for a couple weeks, maybe. It was there. This was before the package that got lost. But it sat there because there was a lot of running around going, and I knew it was there. I got the notification it had been delivered, and I just didn't have time to go and pick it up.
Well, you've really cleaned up at that Maryland Sheeping Wool. I am really happy that...
Oh, I forgot to show the little pin. There's a little pin in here.
Oh my goodness. I'm really happy that they were able to go and do it virtually. I wish...
In such a short notice.
Yeah, they really had short notice. I hope and wish that more things were able to go virtual if they absolutely had to. Like, do I want everybody to be open up again and go to festivals and shows again? Absolutely. But if you can't, like, this is such a cool option.
So this is, don't just sit there, knit something. There's a little chair with yarn balls.
Yes.
So it's...
That is 100% your motto.
Yeah.
But also, like, such a good, like, anytime you're just sitting, scrolling on your phone is a time you could be
crafty.
Like, people say, like, well, being crafty isn't being productive. Oh, I'm making a blanket. Yes, it is. Like, she made clothes. Yes, it is. Like,
yes.
Like, I'm decorating my house. Yes, it is. And it's definitely, would you rather I be sitting on my phone?
Yeah.
And being completely unproductive? Like,
yeah.
I've
actually had, this is maybe diving in too deep or something, but I've actually people who got annoyed with me because I was sitting there knitting, but at the same time, they could be sitting there on their cell phone. And I really feel like there's no difference.
Oh, definitely.
I don't spend as much time on my phone. Like, I have Instagram. I'm on there. That's how I keep up with the knitting universe. But it is not my life. It is not. I'm really bad at keeping up with posting. I want to post more frequently.
I'm gonna make some posts.
So bad about it.
But at the same time, it's like, I can work on my blanket and watch a TV show, have a conversation with people. I have, my one friend Mary struggles with ADD, and we sit and stitch and talk and have, you know, and it's like, I need something to do with my hands. It's not that I'm not paying attention to you or not engaging with you. It's people getting annoyed is so crazy.
Yeah.
People getting annoyed is so crazy. I have had jealous people where they're like,
I wish I could
do that. And it's like, you could
spend
come sit with
time.
us. Come sit with us. Come stitch with us.
Yes.
Like,
come stitch with us. We have stitch nights. Come stitch with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying doing this podcast.
Yeah,
I love sharing. I'm really hoping that we can get some engagement, like, about the color. Like, I hope, please, people,
we need to advertise. We're gonna put it on our Instagrams. We're gonna do it.
Yes.
We have not we didn't even tell friends and family we were doing this until very recently.
Well, we wanted to see how the first couple episodes went, and
get those rough
we feel like this is something we're gonna keep doing. The stuff I brought today, that's all stuff that happened. It's not anything I had to try really hard to knit up for the podcast,
right?
Or anything. And I feel like Lauren and I have such great conversations that even if we don't have the stuff to show everyone, we will have things to talk about. We have a friend who asked us several questions, so we're going to try to introduce some answers to those questions into each episode. More questions are welcome.
Yes, if you have questions, even if it's something dorky about, like, show me how to make one of those punch cards for my floss, I'll do it. Like, it's fun. The other thing is, I feel like you were saying, like, it's not that we feel like, oh my gosh, this is such a burden to get stuff done.
Right.
We do this hobby because we love it.
Yes.
Which reminds me, do you have anything upcoming? You're going to work on your exploration station?
Yes, exploration station and Jason's scarf. Those are probably my 2 upcoming knit projects. And then we talked about my cross stitch projects. And
yeah, those
I'm hoping to finish the wall hanging. I laid it out the other day and was playing with placement, so I just kind of have to make a decision there.
Yeah, and then
combine
it all.
Talk to Lauren about like the best method to do this because I don't know how to sew crochet granny squares together. Yeah, I might need to learn a thing.
There is definitely a process to it.
So
I think I am going to start one of the hoop doilies to display some stuff.
Yes.
Next time I found all the lapel pins that I want to display. So I will bring a couple and show off. So next time I'll have some to show.
That will be cool.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. I was showing them to Jordan the other day. I can't remember why he asked. And I was like, look at some of these. And he's like, some of these are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we're going to have stuff to show. I feel like we're going to have stuff to show all the time. There's obviously going to be like light loads if we get busy. Yeah,
if we could stop making 2-hour videos, that'd be really good.
Well, we're very chatty.
We are. But we like each other. Okay,
Yes.
Gosh darn it.
I hope y'all are enjoying our chattiness.
I hope it's fun.
Yeah.
So, we'll be doing this again in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye.